Well, Vanessa, I mean, talking about winemaking techniques and styles, and also what the vineyard is bringing beforehand, talk about an iconic vineyard. The Morisoli Vineyard has this long aging vineyards that have been planted, I mean, I think as far as the 40s or so.
Yeah.
This Elyse is an outstanding producer that has definitely championed the varietal, Zinfandel, out of Napa Valley. So
I think old vines are super fascinating to me. I mean, you know, I'm a massive dork, but you know, I think it's they're kind of like people, right? And that like as they get more mature, they sort of they're less productive, but they're more interesting.
they're wiser.
Yes, they're wiser.
Yes, like more Sean Connery, less Keanu Reeves, but pretty fun and different. Aside from that, or the another technique that we're seeing here is a little bit of library release, or a little bit of aging. Aside from the oak, which went through a little bit of French oak, this was held back by the winery straight from there with 6 years of age, which whoever says Zinfandel doesn't age, they got to try something like this.
Absolutely. It's starting to get a little bit of that savoriness from the maturity, but you still get that like classic Zinfandel sort of blue fruit, you know, boysenberry note to it as well.
Totally,
so
a lot
kind
of layers.
Right in that perfect spot where it's getting, you know, it's showing a little bit of tertiary, but it's still really fresh.
Totally, and then you get a little bit of like underlaying, lifting, like dried rosemary or like freshly torched rosemary, which is pretty fun.
I like that descriptor. Yeah. You know what I think is also really cool about vines is like they're super smart. You know, I remember I was talking to a viticulturist here in Napa, and she was talking about, you know, like when it gets really hot, they like will, you know, actually like turn their leaves away from the sun, and you think, oh gosh, those poor things, they look like they're really suffering, and you come back the next day and they're like, we're fine, we're back.
Like
yeah,
sunflower seeds,
but they're survivors.
Wow.
Like sunflowers.
No, that is certainly that's definitely a unique characteristical. And as you said, there's a little bit less production, but the price, the quality you get is
and because the you know, sort of, they don't produce as much fruit, but it's more concentrated, right? So you get this sort of like jam-packed mid palate of just concentration.
Totally. And what do you think about pairings? I mean,
this is
aged Zinfandel. Yeah.
Well, I always love Zin with things like barbecue, you know, so like pulled pork, barbecue ribs, short ribs, anything like that. I think it just, that fruitiness can kind of pair with the char.
Like Southern style barbecue with a little bit of zingy, vinegary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, all day.
What do you?
Brisket?
Yo, brisket, perfect. Yep.
Yeah, bring me that brisket with like a 24-hour smoking. It's bam, match made in heaven.
It's absolutely delicious. I'm excited about this wine.
Cheers.
Cheers.